Welcome to Situational Shifts, a show where we decide what the best car is for certain situations. Today's situation is fast daily drivers, and the car we've chosen for that is the Audi S3. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the price point. This one's a 2022, so that'll run you probably about 46 grand. If you're looking for an older model, it'll be cheaper, so like a 2017 will probably run you about 36 grand.
So what makes this car so fast? Well, the all-wheel drive system known as the Quattro basically is what Audi uses in all their old school rally, but it's been such a good system that they've kept it throughout many, many years. And you'll see in the Quattro badges or just the system alone, you'll see that it's a lowercase q. The reason they do that is because the old school Audi Quattro back in the 80s, the first car that they put it in was called the Audi Quattro. They use a capital Q, and now they use lowercase q's, so you don't get them mixed up.
Well, behind me you'll see that this has a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 300 plus horsepower. And the 0 to 60 on this is about 4.3, which is plenty of speed for it being a daily driver. So let's talk about something a little bit more simple, the looks. The front of this thing is very stealth looking. You have a blacked out grille with some aggressive headlights, along with the S3 badge, which makes it just look very sharp. Now another thing to note is the body lines. You can see the body lines are very sleek, and you'll see the skirt here is also very sleek, which gives it a nice touch. So the back of this thing is very sharp. You can see that the taillights here come to a point and that the diffusers are also very sharp looking, and the quad tipped exhaust is a very, very nice look for this car.
All right, so let's talk about the interior now that we're in here. So you'll see a lot of red stitching along with black stitching on the red, which adds a nice little touch to the interior. The seats in here are super comfy and adjustable. You can slide them back, forwards, and even extend the seat if you really want to. Another thing to note is that the mirrors are automatic on this, so if you really want to close them, open them, you can do that. The center console is quite disappointing though. However, it does charge your phone in the center console, which is nice. You'll notice a USB port here. There's also one up here. You can't really see it, there's all the stuff, but up here you'll see that there's another USB port. There's also 2 in the back. Let's talk about the screen in here now. So you'll see that it's got a lot of options. Obviously you have your vehicle settings, where you can put it into a comfortable sort of driving, or you could put it into dynamic, which basically is for sport. Back to the sound, you can adjust things like your bass and your subwoofers and all sorts of stuff like that. Typical stuff. You obviously have your radio, your media connected to your phone, and then a smartphone, which you can either do for Apple CarPlay or Android, whatever you want to do, and then a bunch of settings. So let's talk about the dash now. You'll see a lot of vehicle functions here, all sorts of stuff such as your digital speedometer, your assist, even a lap timer for taking it out on the track. So you'll see with the shift here, it's very original looking. You got the S-tronic, which is the transmission in it. But there is an option for you can manually shift the car yourself or keep it in automatic, whatever you want to do. And then the parking brake here is a little tricky. You kind of have to keep your foot on the brake, but all you do is you just give it a pull, it's on. Push it down, it's off. Really simple, very practical. And you'll also, down here, you'll have how you control the screen and stuff like that, navigations, radio, all that good stuff. The feeling is very precise. It's well engineered, you know. Partial credit for that is obviously the steering. The steering is very responsive. You turn it a little, like I'm turning it just a tad right now, and we're turning a lot right now. So it's super, super responsive. It feels great, especially with the feeling of the steering wheel, with the little flat bottom. It just feels, it's great feeling overall. Another thing to talk about obviously is the handling. So we mentioned before that the Quattro all-wheel drive system in it keeps it on the road. It's like you're driving it on rails. It's very grippy, you could say. There's no understeer, which is where sort of your front tires slide. So due to it being all-wheel drive, there's really no understeer. So you could really whip around corners on a track, or if you're just looking for an everyday sort of drive, it's a great car to take for a little trip. When you're going around corners, it is important that you don't slide around in your seats. So these seats are perfect for sort of the feel of the car. It's very bolstered, bucketed, or you could say. So coming around corners, you don't slide out of your seat, which gives you the best feeling that you can have. And then the last thing we really should talk about is the suspension. It's very stiff, you could say. So you'll feel bumps here and there, but it's responsive. The car doesn't roll when you turn it. It keeps it sort of in place. So when you're going around corners, along with that Quattro all-wheel drive system, it's really just a great feel for the car overall. And then typical features like the lane assist, it keeps you in your lane, so if you go out, it'll correct you, stuff like that. It's really simple. And just this car overall is just a great everyday daily driver that's fast. Alright, so overall, the S3 is perfect for being a daily, and it's fun so you can take it to the track. The car overall, fuel efficient, great for the economy, and if you need it to, it can get right down to business. Thank you for watching this episode of Situational Shift, and we'll catch you in the next one.